Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome inside the turf field here at Milford High School, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Milford TV Executive Director Tim Coet here with you on the call, continuing our spring sports coverage this week and getting our first look of the season at this varsity girls lacrosse team. And a tough opponent on the docket for the Milford girls this afternoon as they play host to the King Philip Warriors. Milford looking to grab their first win of the season. They are currently 0-2. As KP immediately goes on the attack here with a shot that falls shy of the goal and is reeled in by the new goaltender for the Scarlet Hawks, Evelina Di Giulianardo. King Philip already in mid-season form and already a good ways into their schedule. Apparently have been able to get in a fair amount of games despite the inclement weather here through the early weeks of the season. KP is already 5-0 on the season and undefeated 3-0 in Hockomock League play. As the two teams get tangled up just outside of the center line. A collision involving Milford's Caitlin Landry, one of the veteran players back for Milford, as this ball again rolls free in front of the Milford goal mouth and is eventually picked up by Katrina Ledger, and she will try to break it out up the far side of the field. Jumping right into action here, this game getting underway right on time at 3:45 this afternoon under overcast skies. Still decently mild temperatures here in Milford today. Temperature around 64 degrees here at game time. Light wind, expecting some rain later in the day, as now this ball comes in close to the KP goal. Milford trying to gather it in to jam it home, but KP is able to come away with it. So some activity in front of both goaltenders here in the opening minutes of play. Right now a little over 10 minutes on the scoreboard here to get this game started. Get our score graphics up to date here to get you settled into action. That is not the current score. It is currently scoreless here as we just settle into first quarter action. KP coming in now from the far side. Milford doing a good job of clogging up traffic there right in front of their new goalkeeper. Evelina Di Giulianardo, a sophomore, taking the reins from Caitlin Bangert, who was so sturdy at that position for several seasons. And on the restart, it is King Philip able to put it home. And so KP able to start out this match on top. I believe that was number 19, Mackenzie McDavid, with the score. And right now, KP seeing the majority of play on their attacking side and ripping a shot, and that once again is going to get past Di Giulianardo, and back-to-back goals here with just seconds separating for the Warriors. We expected the KP offense to come out strong in this one this afternoon, a very experienced team, and that appeared to be senior Alyssa Legere with the score for KP. So goals, again, just seconds apart. So already now a 2-0 lead for King Philip. Milford suffered a lopsided loss to the Canton Bulldogs to start off their season, then had about a week off with the weather not cooperating. They resumed their season on Monday of this week with a matchup here at home against North Attleboro, a much closer played game. Milford fell behind early, but then was able to battle back. It was a close one throughout, but North Attleboro ended up edging out Milford by a final score of 13-9. As Milford loses control here, that ball coming out towards Yasmin Martinez, who was a breakout player on this team a season ago. But now it's KP again on the attack. And nice passing here as KP regroups over towards the far side of the field. Ticking down to 8 minutes to play in first quarter action. And now Milford closes off the angle towards the goal for number 12, Nicole McDonald. And now fed in deep, and a collision right in front of the goal mouth as that ball goes spilling out of play. Looks like KP was trying to sneak a reverse pass in there. KP still in control here now with the whistle. And we'll get another restart here with Leger with possession, already with a goal here just about a minute or so ago. Now this time delivers a pass. The ball briefly down on the turf, but KP again able to quickly scoop back up. And now they'll curl around behind the net, back in front for a pass that is missed, and now the ball will spill back out towards the middle of the field. Still, though, Leger there for King Philip to settle things back down. Now Milford able to break it up, but a whistle. That was Yasmin Martinez with the stick work. .6:49 on the first quarter clock. Leger heavily involved in the offensive action here for King Philip in this last sequence. Ball up for grabs, now settled down and fed back out towards the far side. KP returning their entire starting lineup from a season ago, so a lot of experience, a lot of veteran players on their side, and as we know, Milford looking for new faces to step up, in particular on offense. As this ball is dropped in, it is denied by DiGianardo. And now a pass out towards Samantha Fazo. Results in a whistle. Milford trying to get this ball out of their own end. Looking for a longer pass, but it is intercepted by the stick of Sarah Brown. Brown will take it in, weaving around defenders. Another good block by DiGianardo. She makes the save. Now it's Katrina Leger feeding it up the far side. And KP closing in, really pinning Milford down to that far sideline. At the end of the day, only one win separated these two teams a season ago. KP finished the year with 12 victories, Milford with 11. But obviously experience on King Philip's side, especially in the early days of this 2024 season. KP with possession on their attacking side, once again with a little over 5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Milford giving up goals about a minute apart and now trying to settle things down. KP coming back from behind the Milford goal. We'll weave a pass back out to Emily Heslin. Now the ball on the ground. Another whistle. Another restart for the Warriors. They'll fire the shot, and again, it is saved. Avelina DiGianardo facing a flurry of shots here in the first quarter, but she's made some excellent saves, keeping this a 2-goal lead for KP. Milford, though, having all kinds of trouble just trying to get this ball out of their defensive end. Now the ball going out of play right around the midfield line. King Philip quick to pick it up and back on the attack. Milford trying to get numbers back defensively. Spread out a bit thin. The pass offline, gathered in on a hop by King Philip. They'll curl it back around behind the net. Katrina Ledger, good positioning, good stick work, and another save by DJ Leonardo. The ball ricochets out towards the back far corner, and it's gathered in there by the Warriors. Outstanding start to this game for Avelina DJ Leonardo. Certainly a lot of pressure for an underclassman to take on a key role, especially after the performance we saw from Caitlin Banger the last several years on this varsity team. Makes another good stop there. And Milford now spraying this ball up the far side. King Philip now with it back on their stick. And again, Milford unable to get things ahead to their attacking side of the field. Loose ball pulled down now by Abby McDonald of King Philip all the way in. And nothing DJ Leonardo could do there. And so it'll be a 3-0 lead now for the Warriors. Substitutions coming in now for KP. I believe that was Kelly Holmes who was able to bury that shot. Another face-off win for the Warriors, and again, Milford just unable right now to spend any time on their offensive side of the field. Their defense and their goalkeeping doing everything they can to keep this score close. Yasmin Martinez now trying to scoop that loose ball. Whistle stops the clock, or pauses action on the field, I should say, with right around 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Starting to feel a little bit chillier now here at the playing surface. Some rain expected to come into the area later on this evening, but hoping that things stay dry for the duration of our lacrosse coverage here this afternoon. All the way up top here for number 19, Mackenzie McDavid, who scored earlier in this quarter. Now looped back in, Ledger from behind trying to defend. And that looked to be back to Alyssa Leger, who put it in. And so some late work here on the scoreboard in the first quarter as KP now is going to up the lead to 4-0. It was indeed Leger. She scores her second. Milford with a brief win there on the faceoff, now able to scoop back. It's number 6, Lexi Antonio. But now struggling to get the ball past the center line. A good pass up ahead, but Mickelson couldn't make a play on it. Now Milford trying to regroup. The ball goes out of play and is now picked up by the Warriors. Milford able to get a brief look on the King Philip goal in the early minutes of this quarter, but it has been consistent activity here in front of DJ Leonardo for the duration of the quarter, with now just over 60 seconds left to go. Now players take a tumble. Katrina Ledger down to the turf for Milford. Katrina, such an outstanding season for the girls basketball team in her senior year of winter sports. Milford, more tough work in defense in front of the net, stopping that shot. Ledger trying to feed a pass upfield, but it's denied. And now the ball loose. Milford trying to pick it up, but it's KP who will bring it back around behind the net with 26 seconds left to go in the first quarter. A 4-0 lead now for the Warriors as the ball ends up on the stick of of Faith Garvey. that ball got tangled up in the outside netting of the goal. We'll have a restart here for KP. In on net, denied by DJ Leonardo on the shot attempt by the sophomore Faith Garvey. And that will be the final play here in the first quarter. So 4 goals for the Warriors. And if you're Milford, certainly the bright spot is the sophomore Avelina DJ Leonardo, really doing everything she can to keep this score from getting out of hand. So a 4-0 lead right now for the Warriors at the close of the first quarter. We'll take a quick timeout here on the broadcast. We'll have second quarter action coming up in just a moment on this coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV, presented by Rail Trail. Welcome back to coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics here on Milford TV. We begin second quarter action in this varsity girls lacrosse matchup between Milford and King Philip, a 4-goal lead for the Warriors. As we flip sides of the field for the start of this second quarter. Of course, coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV is brought to you by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Happy to have Rail Trail on board as our presenting sponsor. Might have been some contact up high with the stick, indeed, as we see a yellow card is issued. And so this is going to give the Warriors the advantage as we see Chloe Pierce come to the sideline. Looks to be Nicole McDonald with the ball on her stick for this restart for the Warriors. And this shot comes in low. It gets past DiGianardo, and so the score for Nicole McDonald. And so that extends the lead to 5-0 now for the Warriors. This has been a relentless Warriors offense so far this season. Through their first 5 games of the season, King Philip has scored 80 goals. You can make it 85 now with the goals they have scored so far in this first half. Outscoring opponents in their first 5 games of the season 80-23. The whistle comes in just prior to that shot being released by Alyssa Legere. So DiGianardo right back in the crosshairs here on the restart with the ball on the stick of Alyssa Legere, and she rifles it. Goes up high this time, and DiGianardo couldn't react in time with the stick. And so Legere now with the hat trick with still plenty of time to go in this first half. Goals just 17 seconds apart. And a half dozen now in the column for the Warriors. Milford trying to continue to bring positive energy from the sideline here as they win the face-off cleanly. And up ahead with it now is Anna Araujo. Was part of the offense on Monday's game against North Attleboro. A sophomore, I believe, scored her first career goal. Now it's Yasmin Martinez trying to find an angle towards the net. We'll have a restart now with the ball on Martinez's stick. 10.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Martinez quickly closed off to the net, has to regroup. Now the ball comes loose, and it's quickly picked up by King Philip's Kelly Holmes. And so the best opportunity for a goal so far in the game denied here by the KP defense. Ball ends up out of play on the near side, just past the trainer's cart, and it's gathered in out of play by KP's Lily McNulty. KP looking to challenge the Franklin Panthers for the Kelly Rex Division crown this season. Right now, those are the 2 teams atop the Kelly Rex standings. Both teams unbeaten. KP at 5-0, Franklin at 3-0. KP now back on the attack as they weave up the far sideline and take this ball around behind the net. Katrina Ledger trying to get in the way of things, but now a quick wraparound opportunity. Ball loose right at the goal mouth, and eventually it is paddled over towards the stick of DiGianardo. Now a little bit of space up the near sideline for Lexi and Antonio. Trying to change course back towards the middle, able to protect through some stick contact. And now loops a pass right on the money to Yasmin Martinez. She's forced around behind the net. Good defense for Abby McDonald. Ball still on the stick of Martinez. Now it's forced out, and KP is able to gather it in with a head of steam up the field. A numbers advantage forming perhaps for KP. Katrina Ledger able to get back. This pass sent up over the net, and now right back in front for a chance that is driven home by the Warriors. That was a nice play executed by KP. Trying to get a look at uniform numbers there through the crowd. That might have been Holmes with her second goal of the half. Coming with about 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go in a first half that is quickly getting out of hand for Milford. And certainly the Scarlet Hawks having to adjust to life without 300-point scorers. You think in the last couple of years they've had offensive weapons that have been able to score with regularity. Last year it was seniors Emily Croto and Carly Haley who were really able to be the engines that drove this offense to that 11-win season. As meanwhile, more good passing for the Warriors lead to another quick strike. That was back to Mackenzie McDavid, who opened the scoring. So 8-0 now, the deficit for Milford, as they're able to log some precious time here on their offensive side of the field. Erin Mickelson with the ball on her stick. 7.5 minutes remaining in first half action. Maya Santos now, she gathers back in behind the net. Santos looking for a pass partner, has one player crashing the net, instead dishes back to Antonio. A dangerous pass, Milford trying to save it. Ball eventually picked up, I believe, by Milford. We'll have a restart here with 6:49 on the clock as the ball's fed back around to Erin Mickelson. And now a high pass is eventually pulled down and scored. Caitlin Landry able to get that one past the KP goalie. And Milford on the scoreboard now. It is 8-1 with 6:38 to go in the half. It's the junior Caitlin Landry. So Milford able to get one precious goal back. KP winning the face-off. Up the far sideline, the ball on the stick of Emily Heslin. Now swung back around behind the net for Leger. Now the low shot, angled in by Sammy Cloutier. As she gets herself on the score sheet and immediately gets that goal back for the Warriors. Just 18 seconds before KP was able to regain their 8-goal lead. Five different scorers in this half for the Warriors. As Milford is eventually able to win the face-off, can they make a move around this tough defense? Kaylee Turtelot taking the ball up the near side, able to get through a couple of defenders. Now trying to find Landry. Instead, the ball ends up with Maya Santos. Her shot towards net is denied. TJ Downing now trying to get into the action. Back in the direction of Downing. Caitlin, beg your pardon. Addie Kudrakow in on that action along the far sideline, but it's now KP who takes it up ahead with 5.5 minutes on the first half clock. This KP offense has hurt Milford in a variety of ways here in this first half. A dynamic attack for this experienced squad. Good pass from around behind the net. That's broken up, but a whistle comes in. And substitutions waiting to check into this game for the Warriors for head coach Courtney Webster. Now this ball comes in deep on the restart, and another goal. Count it once again for Nicole McDonald. So 10-1 now, as Milford is just trying to make their way to halftime to try to regroup. It was just a 4-0 score after the first quarter. With 6 more goals put in here over the course of this second quarter. That's gotten this game out of hand. Milford with just the 1 score, courtesy of Caitlin Landry, as this ball ends up on DiGianardo's stick. Good pass up ahead by Katrina Ledger, but could not be handled from there by Turtelot. Possession stays with King Philip now, 4:18 to go on the clock. Now Leger, a deep feed in front of the net, and another strike, this time for number 5, Sierra King, the junior. She gets her first of the half. Even 10-goal lead now for the Warriors after that latest strike from Sierra King. 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Milford fighting for the face-off, but King Philip continuing to show their speed. Around behind the net to the edge of the field of play. Possession will go to Milford here. The wind direction certainly favoring this side of the field. A steady breeze blowing from right to left across the playing surface. As we get a couple of players losing their footing here. Katrina Ledger she's slow to get up. And right now has the left shoe off. And this will bring out the Milford training staff. Ledger immediately taking the shoe off. And so, concern here for one of Milford's seniors. And we know how tough Katrina is. We've seen her year after year on the girls basketball team make a lot of tough defensive plays. She plays physical, she plays smart, and so we certainly hope that it's not a serious injury. We'll take the injury timeout here. Clock pause with 3 minutes and 21 seconds to go in the first half, with KP on top of Milford 11-1. Action will continue here on Milford TV on this coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics presented by Rail Trail. Back to restart action here late in the first half. And an immediate goal on the restart for Alyssa Legere, who has been a nightmare here for Milford in this first half. That is goal number 4. That will make it 12-1. As Katrina Ledger gets looked at by the training staff on the sideline, hoping that maybe it was an equipment issue versus an injury issue, as right now she's getting looked at over at the trainer's cart. She did need some help to get off the field, so hopeful to see Katrina return to action and avoid injury. KP, meanwhile, with another face-off win. On top now, 12-1. As the ball is loose and it ends up with Deja Leonardo. Trouble here for Chloe Pierce, as now she's able to find some room along the near sideline, gets contact as she delivers that ball up the near sideline, and it ticks out of play. Down inside of the final 2 minutes of the half. And this time a stop for Deja Leonardo on the shot attempt by number 2, Riley Waldner, a freshman, getting out onto the field here in the late stages of this half. Less than 90 seconds to go now until we hit the intermission. Pass towards Maya Santos. She struggles to gather it in. Knocks this ball back out towards the center circle. Now bodies again hit the turf, and that draws the whistle. Santos still with it. Gets blocked off now. Feeds a pass up ahead. Hard contact there on Caitlin Landry. She continues on the attack, gives the pass. And now up close, that ball gets through. I think that was TJ Downing with the score. And that might be the last play of the half, so a little bit of a jolt for Milford. And so there is the buzzer. So TJ Downing gives Milford their second goal of the half. But overall, a dominant performance for the Warriors over the first 2 quarters. They take a 12-2 lead on Milford. So we will pause here for halftime. If you're joining us on our live coverage, either locally on our educational channel, our Verizon High Definition channel, or you're checking out the coverage on YouTube, just hang tight for the next 5 minutes, and we will resume with third quarter action. A 12-2 lead, KP on top of Milford on this coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV, presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. We welcome you back into coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics here on Milford TV, brought to you by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Milford quickly trying to sneak a shot in right off the opening face-off to this third quarter. We encourage everybody to check out Rail Trail's Milford location at 223 Main Street. Also location on Main Street in Hudson. Stopped by Rail Trail yesterday to check out their new spring menu. Outstanding choices up and down the menu, so head over to Rail Trail early and often. And of course you can enjoy some outdoor seating at both locations now in Hudson and Milford. So just a great venue for these spring and summer months ahead. Settling into second half action, a big mountain for Milford to climb. As KP, just a quick catch and shoot with the stick coming out of her hands and able to get the score. It was an impressive shot there for the Warriors. Again, just continuing to show their skill. That looked to be the number 8 for King Philip. That's Ashley Whitbread. So that tacks on to the lead now 13-2. Milford getting a goal back right before the end of the first half, courtesy of TJ Downing. Milford trying to break up the play. Good sight out there for Milford is Katrina Ledger back out on the field, as she had to be helped off by the training staff late in the first half. Maybe favoring that left foot still just a bit, but good to see her back out with the defense. Yasmin Martinez deliberate here, backing off the play, trying to set things up for her teammates. Now trying to make a move in, but staying close on defense was Sammy Cloutier. She was one of the goal scorers in the first half. Scoring leader so far in this game is Alyssa Legere for King Philip, who had 4 first half goals. Caitlin Landry with the ball on her stick right now, one of the Milford goal scorers, along with TJ Downing. And now picking it up here, Emily Heslin, and quickly feeding it up ahead to Faith Garvey, is ahead of the defense and puts that through the wickets of DJ Leonardo. Just outstanding vision out there on the field. Perfect pass ahead to Garvey, who was ahead of the defense and had no problem putting that one in for the 13th goal of the day now for the Warriors, and just continuing to put on a clinic out there. And we've seen some hefty goal totals for King Philip all season, as we mentioned, with 80 goals coming into the game here today. 15 goals in a win over Brookline to open the season. 17 goals in a win over Bishop Fee, and they have notched 17 goals 3 times already in 5 contests in wins against Feehan, Sharon, and North Attleboro. And then only scored 14 goals in a 14-7 win against Foxborough in their most recent victory. And Foxborough figures to be one of the contenders for the Kelly Rex Division title this year. but still ultimately no match for this Warriors team. So one of the absolute top teams in the entire league, and I think one of the better programs statewide. A little over 6.5 minutes now remaining in the third quarter as Heslin brings this ball back around behind the Milford goal. Up top now to Cloutier, and then towards the near side for Lauren Obara, a sophomore getting into the game action here. Grace Beagle trying to make a move on that pass, but it was safely away for KP. Now it's Chloe Pierce breaking things up. Katrina Ledger trying to scoop the loose ball. But KP back with it through a crowd. And this will stay with KP after the whistle. From the looks of things, we'll have junior varsity action coming up after the varsity here tonight, as this ball is in for a score for Garvey. So she scores the last 2 consecutive goals here for the Warriors. Lights coming on here at the field. Tends to vary as the season goes on, whether the JV squads play first or whether they play second. And so it looks like today the JV will come out a little bit later on. Hopefully conditions stay dry for the JV action. Continue to stay rain-free so far, keeping our fingers crossed here with some heavier cloud cover overhead. Still looking to be around 7 o'clock that the rain will start to filter in here to the Milford area. It was certainly nice to experience a little jolt of spring to start this week after so much rain and raw conditions last week, and even a lot of areas seeing some snow. Here's Downing off the restart. She quickly puts it in and gets it past the KP goalie, and so the second goal of the game now for Downing. Puts the score at 15-3. Got a nice full crew for our coverage here this afternoon. As you can see, we've got the multiple camera angles for you, including one right down at field level. We've got a couple of our out-of-town interns helping out on the Milford High coverage today. Our Sutton High School intern, Sophia Mitchell, manning the main action camera on top of the press box, and our Hopedale High School intern, Nate Kamara, with the sideline camera action. The game directed today by our outstanding Milford TV staff member, Patrick Garapi. So a great crew bringing you the action here this afternoon. A little under 4 minutes to go now. Score 15-3, another good pass here for KP. Some contact up high perhaps there, just grazing the head of KP's Nicole McDonald, but play continues. Ball now around behind the net for Sarah Brown. The pass away. Good job lunging for that. Now the ball squirts free. And on the restart, that ball is in for the score. It ricocheted back out, but a goal for Nicole McDonald. And so King Philip again right on the doorstep of 17 goals, which has been almost their average here so far on the season. One away from that with still a little over 2 minutes to play in the third quarter as they line up for another face-off. David ahead, and then And 2 quick passes leads to a release for Sammy Cloutier, but DiGianardo able to make the stop. Kaylee Turtelot waiting to check back into the game as this ball is wrestled back by the Warriors, getting ahead of the defense, floating this pass. Possession will come to Milford here. Long pass reached for by Turtelot as she checks back into the game. Slices up through the middle. Has a little bit of space up ahead. Downing calling for the pass. Instead it goes to Landry. Less than 90 seconds to play in the third quarter as Landry tries to back in. Now dishes back to Turtelot. Kaylee weighing her options. Good disciplined defense there for the Warriors. Now it's back to Landry. She tries to force her way in, releases a shot, and it bounces off the side of the cage and around behind the net. It'll be a restart here for Milford. Landry with the ball on her stick. 50 seconds on the clock. Landry quickly closed off. And we'll reset and do it again now. Landry still with it. And tries to feather a pass in towards Turtelot, but it's intercepted by the goalie for King Philip. Goalie on the KP side, junior Caitlin Parrish. Hasn't had a lot of activity in front of her over the course of the game here today. Has surrendered 3 goals so far. And this ball heaved upfield into the stick of DiGianardo. So that wraps up third quarter action, with the lead now expanded out to 16-3 for King Philip on top of Milford. Quick timeout on the broadcast. Fourth quarter will come your way next. And this coverage of Milford Varsity Girls Lacrosse here on Milford TV, presented by Rail Trail. Welcome back once again into the coverage here. Varsity Girls Lacrosse action on Milford TV presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Tim Coet with you on the call. A 16-3 lead for the visiting King Philip Warriors, in prime position to stay unbeaten on the season. We once again flip sides of the field here for this fourth quarter. Erin Mickelson with the ball up top. She receives contact. This will be our final spring sports coverage for you until after the school vacation week next week. And so then we will resume the following week with a full schedule for you for the duration of the spring sports season. In the meantime, you can catch up with all of the games we've covered so far. A couple of intriguing boys volleyball games early on in the season. We were able to cover Milford softball earlier this week, and we'll have this girls lacrosse game available for streaming on our YouTube channel, and we'll have it available for playback on our educational and HD channels as well. Milford forcing KP outside. Now they're able to get the pass deep, but the shot was rejected. And now the ball spills free, but King Philip quickly picks it right back up. Yasmin Martinez working hard defensively up top. Good effort level still for Milford despite the lopsided score. As this ball comes free, King Philip again in position to pick it back up and reset here. Less than 10 minutes to go. Now it's Turtelot who picks up a loose ball and able to cut between a couple of defenders. Active sticks all around. Now Turtelot closed in looking for a pass. Instead puts the ball down on the turf. Up for grabs and eventually settled down by Caitlin Landry. And she will take it around behind the net and give way to Erin Mickelson. Mickelson looking for entry, now curls in deep, and she is denied. And meanwhile, a yellow card is going to be issued here, and so this will put Milford on the advantage. Katie McGann getting that yellow card for King Philip. It's the Warriors with possession here. Still in control, a little over 8.5 minutes to go. And still no problem for the offense to stay hot for the Warriors. They make it a 17-3 lead, and once again, they reach that 17-goal threshold with a little over 8 minutes remaining. So time to continue to do damage and set a new single-game scoring total for their season. Again, still just 6 games in, this offense has been completely locked in. Martinez couldn't settle that ball down after the face-off, so here goes KP again with a full head of steam. The key here for Milford moving forward is to try to find those players that can step up and be those consistent offensive weapons that this program has had in the last few years. We mentioned the work done last year as seniors for Emily Croto and Carly Haley, both reaching the 100-point threshold, and prior to that it was Ashlyn Bennett who set a program record for goals scored. And so now it's time for new faces to step up and to lead this offensive attack. And for this defense, a lot of work in front of them to try to keep pace with these tough, aggressive offenses that are featured up and down the Hockomock League, as the score grows to 18-3 now. So there is the new single game high for the Warriors. Now an 18-3 lead. Looking ahead at the schedule coming up for Milford, they will be home again tomorrow in non-conference action against Norwood. That game starting around 4:30, although likely dealing with some inclement weather. Looks like both Thursday and Friday will feature rain, so we'll see if these outdoor sports are able to continue to play. Then they'll be away for 4 consecutive games. They will travel to Bellingham, to Foxborough, to Marshfield, to Mansfield, and then to Franklin. So after tomorrow, their next home game won't be until the 1st of May. Another flurry in front of the net results in a score for the Warriors. That takes it to a 19-3 lead. A lot of starters coming to the sideline for the Warriors here with this game well in hand. A little over 5 minutes left to go. 19-3 the score. Looking to reach that 20-point threshold. Something they have not done so far on the season. But again, every game so far on the year has been at least 14 goals or more. As Downing now takes it in deep and will leave a pass. As the shot comes in low. That shot taken by Kiara Ortiz, but the save is made. And so despite not having a lot of work in front of her, Caitlin Parrish has made some good saves today. It'll be tough to stay locked in when a lot of the action is happening on the opposite side of the field. She's kept herself engaged. Another score that looked to be Legere, perhaps putting an exclamation point on an outstanding day. She had 4 goals in the first half, continuing to tack on here in the second half. She'll make her way to the sideline here with 3:45 left in this fourth quarter. So a tough one here today, no doubt, for Milford, and they will look to regroup. They won't have long to dwell on this game. Certainly good news perhaps for head coach Casey Young and this team, as they will get right back into action tomorrow and hope for a better day against the Norwood Mustangs. Starting to wind things down here in this fourth quarter. We're about to dip under 3 minutes to play. A lot of passing now for the Warriors, perhaps easing up on the throttle just a bit here in the closing minutes. So we looked at the schedule coming up for the Scarlet Hawks. Meanwhile, for King Philip, they will be back in action at home on the 15th as they take on Walpole, then Natick. We'll have a matchup with Needham High School. Their next Hockomock League opponent isn't until the 23rd when they take on the Mansfield Hornets. And then they'll have a date with the Franklin Panthers coming up on April 25th, and that game may very well go a long way towards determining the Kelly Rex Division winner, so that's certainly a game that a lot of Lacrosse fans will have circled on the schedule. KP versus Franklin in Franklin on April 25th. Running out the remaining clock here in this one this afternoon. With right now a 20-3 lead for the Warriors, and we'll go under the 60-second mark now as KP continues to send this ball around the perimeter of the field. Ball loose now on the turf right in front of the Milford goal, picked up by DJ Leonardo. Milford cannot win it. Chloe Pierce was there, but KP able to pick it up. Deliver a pass up top towards Nicole McDonald, who has scored multiple goals in this game this afternoon. KP will continue to carry it now with less than 30 seconds to go, so it looks like this will likely be our final score. No shots taken here. Final 10 seconds about to tick down. And so again, a tough day really from start to finish for Milford. KP started out in front 4-0 after the first quarter and just continued to put the pressure on. And they will go on to take this game by a final score of 20-3. 2 goals in the game for TJ Downing, 1 goal for Caitlin Landry, but a tough one all around for Milford. And so again, they will look to quickly turn the page as they will get back into action here at home tomorrow against Norwood. Our next coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics here on Milford TV will come your way again after the April vacation week. So right now we're expecting to bring you boys lacrosse action against Foxborough coming up on Tuesday, April 23rd. So that is the next time we'll have you covered here on Milford TV, but that's going to wrap things up for this afternoon. Again, a big thank you to our Milford TV crew bringing you this live coverage today. Our director for the game is Patrick Garapi, and our camera operators are Sophia Mitchell and Nate Kamara. And I am Tim Coette. That final score, one final time, King Philip defeats Milford by a final score of 20-3. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.